Hey guys, Matt over here with ZL1 Add-ons, and today we are going to be looking at how to install a rear diffuser on a Charger SRT Hellcat Scat Pack. It fits them all. We have different setups for all of them, but we're going to show you the install right now. One of the first things you need to verify before you order our product, you need to understand what these two bolt holes in your rear cradle are. Now, some of the Chargers out there have threads in these holes. If that's the instance, we have a specific bolt for that. If it's not threaded like it is on this one, we have to add a riv nut. So you can see the riv nut here. We've already threaded this one partially. Here, I'll just pull it out so you can see it better. But you can see the riv nut in there, and that riv nut creates a really tight, solid mount point to mount the rear diffuser from. So you need to go underneath with your light, your car. You can jack it up, you can get under there many different ways, but you need to verify if both of these holes are threaded or if they're not threaded. So at this point, we're gonna show you how to put a riv nut in. You can see we do offer a riv nut tool. This is available for $20 add-on to your order, and this will allow you to put the riv nut in if you need it. Now, if you have the rear end that has the threads already, you don't have to worry about this whole aspect because this is just gonna thread in its place. Let's go ahead and put the riv nut in. Slide it in the hole. You're just gonna squeeze it tightly. Tighten up the thing, make sure you get a nice snug squeeze on it so it's in there strong enough to hold the bolt. That gives us a nice new mounting point. He's gonna go ahead and pull the rivet nut gun off, and we're good to go to thread the other spacer and bolt in place. Now, these are the rear positioners that we're putting in that are gonna hold the backside of your diffuser in place. And now we're gonna go ahead and show you how this whole thing mounts up. So now that these bolts and spacers are fully threaded in and tight, we now need to remove the two rear bolts in the back. And we have provided you with two new bolts and washers that we'll be using in their place. They're a little bit longer and stronger. And now we'll mock this up. Okay, now we're at the point where we're gonna install the diffuser. Now, depending on your car, if you have a stock muffler setup, our setup is already designed for you. You're good to go. But if you have an aftermarket exhaust setup, your setup may be different where your pipes are coming in, where your mufflers are, etc. If that is the case, you can trim this metal. So you can mock this up, put it, put the screws in and hold it in place, and you can mark where you need to cut. You can get a pair of tin snips. They work really well. You can snip them down and get a little angle grinder or whatever and just, sand down those rough edges to make it perfect. So keep in mind, if you have an aftermarket exhaust, you can custom fit this to your car. But what you will get from us will fit the stock exhaust from Dodge. We're gonna go ahead and lift the diffuser in place. You're gonna line that up. Again, you have your two screws. Line one side up, makes it really easy once you get that one started to thread. You can get the other side. Can you see? We lifted the car as high up as possible so Mikey could not see and make it difficult.
Okay. Okay.
So those bolts are in place. It's now holding it. And now we can screw those in. Again, you do not want to over tighten these, but you also don't want them loose. Just get them nice and snug on there. So now at this point, you're going to get your 7/16 bolts in place. So now that we have all the bolts tightened on the two edge, now we have the outside edge bolts that we're going to match drill. So basically, 1/4-inch bit, we're gonna drill through the diffuser so that way we can reach around, put a nut on, and put the bolts on the outside so that way it's a nice snug fit and it will look really good. And at this point, you're gonna reach just under your muffler. You might wanna do this after your car cools off a little bit because those tips can get pretty hot. But you'll reach over there with your bolt, or actually with a washer, and then your bolt, and tighten it down. So there you have it, rear diffuser installed, good to go. Looking clean. This is a functional product. This is not stylistic. It does allow the airfoil underneath and create a nice smooth flow out the back of